prayer. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhadvishante Ravana Swami Namo. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhadvishante Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachandi Namo Sashishunvadi Praschandasthana. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Yeah. So we know, many people say humans are also animals. Okay? So in broadly, what is the difference between animals and humans from what we already know and what we have discussed in the past? What is common between the two? What is the difference? Maybe you can all speak whatever you understand. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Yes, they're all common. And what is the difference? They also have mind, but their whole focus is in the 4 areas. Eating, how do I eat my next meal? That's the whole focus, right? So here, Prabhu is giving some example, right? For example, a bull may eat. So in India, you see these hand carts, people pull hand carts with vegetables on it. Lot of times these buffaloes come and eat. You beat them, they stop for the time being. Again, after 10 minutes, they'll come back. They forget. But a human being, if a human is bet once, will he come back again? No, that's it. So that's the they can understand, they can discriminate. So that ability is missing in the other lower animals. Even, for example, a dog is behind you. It comes to you and, you beat it. It will do 2 things. It will fight or flight. If a human being, if you beat him, what he does, he can do 2 things, but he can also do one more thing. What is it? Yeah, why did you beat me? He will ask, right? So that inquisitiveness, the ability to question, that is a human prerogative. So using that ability, so that additional ability is given in human being. What do we do with that? We use that to solve problems, right? So we solve software problem, everything we solve, we are fed because we solve some problems to the world, right? But using the same ability, you can also solve the problems of life, right? So we can question who we are, but we all get these questions, why am I here? Why am I suffering in this existence? So all those problems can also be solved. Yeah. So the main difference between animals and humans is that the consciousness is less developed in the other living entities. We'll go into the levels of consciousness later, but so the consciousness of animals, birds, plants is only developed in searching after the 4 necessities of life. Yeah. Here is another example. Sometimes you see there is a butcher man, right? In India, you see in open space, there are few goats which are eating grass while the others are getting butchered. They don't mind, they are happy eating the grass. But a human being, can he do that? If somebody is getting butchered on the side, he'll immediately run away. So that is how the animal consciousness is. So the animals and birds have bodily covering that stunts their consciousness to remain in that state. So their consciousness is transfixed in that 4 problems. It's just fixed. It doesn't think beyond that. Am I eating? Am I sleeping? Am I mating? Am I defending? That's it. It's just fixed. on those areas. Yeah. But human beings inquire, why am I suffering? That's why he suffers the most, right? And what is the ultimate goal of life? And this is the summary. So while animals act out of instinct, act out of instinct, humans have the ability to think of consequence before it acting. So that is the human prerogative. So we don't instinctively act, we don't just react. Many times people react and they actually, guilty after that, they feel bad for their reaction. Many times we also feel, first react and then feel bad, right? Many times. But we can develop our consciousness to an extent that we respond rather than react. Right? We can develop our consciousness such that is, we all have, there is a saying in English, we all have a bad dog and a good dog within us. We know dogs, right? We all have seen Indian street dogs. Have you seen? In the night, if you go on the street, they all come together and bark at you. I remember, recently when I went to India in Hyderabad, it was late night, 12 o'clock. I was, going to my sister's home, just landed there. And on the way, I just stepped on the taxi and like maybe a dozen dogs ran from nowhere, I don't know, and they started barking at me. I got really scared and went back to the car. they they feel privileged. So that's like an example of a bad dog. So they feel it's, this land is mine and I don't let anybody enter. So that is the, feeling in the dog that, who is he entering without my permission? That's how they're feeling. But on the other hand, we all see in America, people, take care of dogs at their home, right? These dogs behave so nicely, right? They are like, for the owner of the dog, they care them so much like their own child. And the dogs are also so good in behavior. So by training the dog, it can be, so loving and caring. By not caring, it can be so scary as the Hyderabad dogs, which I talked about, right? So similarly, we can nurture our own nature. We can cultivate through the practice of spiritual practices. We can bring the best in us or the worst if we don't train, right? So that's the point here. So those who are devotees of God bring out the angel by practice of Krishna conscious culture. Animals are better than humans in the material activities. So we'll see the abilities. I mean, that is a side effect. We are not here to bring out the good culture. That's not the goal. The goal of life is far better than that. But that's a side benefit that also happens. So here we see examples of animals. And in fact, animals do better in these four categories of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending than human beings. For example, eagle. What is specialty here? Huh? D? No. Yes, E. See objects miles away. It can see, we have seen in Discovery Channel how it catches a fish, right? From a far distance. So they have the ability to see like nobody else. Horse, G, J. Yeah, it's athletic. It can run fastest, faster than, Usain Bolt, who runs the fastest. Dog, F. Smells and detectives, yes, yeah. Elephant, B. Yeah, eats huge quantity. We can't compete with elephant. And it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We think, we have to work hard to fill our stomachs. But nature provides it. That's how nature arranges. Polar bear. Can sleep for 6 months, yes. Cuckoo can sing very sweetly. Pigeon. A pigeon can produce offspring. Oh, no, no, not this. Huh? H. Yeah, yes, that's true. Yeah, can have, yeah, this thing. Mosquito, yeah, can produce thousands of offsprings. Kangaroo, high jump, it can jump higher than anybody. Tiger, yeah, can pounce on a deer and eat, yeah, deer. So in this way, you can see animals are better than humans in these four categories, clearly. So it's a built-in ability. So here, Bhagavad Gita says, out of many thousands of people, someone may develop this reasoning power. Why am I suffering? Not all human beings really inquire. They're all busy in the four animalistic activities. Manushyanam Sahasresha. It's within thousands of people, one would inquire what is the purpose of life. Kaschid yatati siddhaye, yatatam siddhanam. So like that. So out of thousands, one inquire, why am I suffering? Yeah. But unfortunately, suffering is not an option. It is forced upon us, right? We never ask for suffering, but it comes. And there are categories of sufferings also. The first category is comes out of one's own body. It's called Adhyatmika. What are Adhyatmika clashes? Anybody? Anxiety, depression. Yeah. Anything else? Toothache, no? Headache, stomachache, backache. Anything, body or mind, both of them together come in Adhyatmika kleshas. And then Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, both of them. Yeah. Adi Bhautika, other living entities. What are other living entities that can cause suffering to the human beings? Your own manager, in-laws, your enemies, whoever you may consider. Huh? Husband, wife, both. Yeah, other living entities, your neighbor, sometimes. Yeah, so like that. And Adi Daivika, natural calamities, tsunamis, corona, right? Coronas, for almost 2 years, the world was shut down. So in this way, so these sufferings come upon us, whether we ask for it or not, it will be there. Yeah. So nobody wants these problems, right? But actually, all these problems, they may not be common to all. They may not, they may not occur to. For example, I may have headache, you may not have, right? So it's all individual, and it's not like permanent problem. It may come and go. What are those problems that we consider as real problems? Means that's common to all, nobody wants and nobody can avoid. What are these? Birth, death, old age, and disease. Nobody wants, nobody can avoid, and nobody can escape from it. So these four problems are real problems. So the real problems are birth, old age, disease, and death. Nobody is free from any of these in this world. So everybody wants to be free from this. And the special human prerogative, that is the ability to question, right? So that is only available in human beings. So he can question and solve these real problems of life. Why am I suffering? Who is in charge? Is there a God? Right? What is the purpose of life? So, and then he can find answers for those. Yeah. So, but if we see the Western world, It has reached the summit of development, Western civilization. However, do we not see more drug addicts? We see more and more of these problems. Adultery, crime has also increased. The jails are not sufficient in America to keep all the criminals. You know that? Yeah. Um, so the more the society goes away and becomes more and more godless, the more they suffer actually. Because human life is a very special life if it is not used, if it is only because all the scientific research, everything is going towards improving the four things only: eating, sleeping, mating, and event. How to get a better bed to sleep better, how to eat better food, better conditions. But if you only solve those problems, will not be satisfied because the heart is thirsty for love, and that's not getting fulfilled, right? Yeah. So only in human life we're endowed with intelligence to inquire what happens after death. What is actual destination of my life? So this is called Brahma Jignas, right? Inquiring about oneself and God. So this is a Bhagavatam shloka. We'll read together. So I'll read and then you can repeat after me. Videhamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham lavam sukalpam gurukarnadharam mayanugulena nabhasvate Om Bhava Bhinnatare Sa Atmaha. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. So this verse summarizes the importance of human form of life. The human body, which can award all benefits in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is a very rare achievement. This human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the spiritual master as the captain and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as the favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. It's a very powerful statement. So, this human body is like a perfectly constructed boat to cross the ocean of material existence. And who is the driver of this boat? The guru or the teacher, right? And the scripture, like the wisdom of Gita, is like a favorable wind. With all the support of all this, we can easily cross this ocean of material existence, Bhavasagar. If we don't utilize, we basically have the lost the opportunity as being born in the human form, human body. Now here is a skit. I want three of you to enact this drama. Not drama, just read. Maybe. You can take three characters. So you be the Buddhimal, Buddhumal, Lobhimal, okay? And then Rahul will be the last one, Jnanish, yeah. Okay, let's read from here. So the skit is goalless football game and aimless life. After all that rat race, rat remains a rat only. Yeah. So this is the context. Buddhimal and Lobhimal were traveling in a car in a new city. Jnanish was sitting in the back seat, hearing their conversation. Yeah. Okay. Lobhimal, first. You are driving the car so fast, but do you know where you are going?
Don't ask me. I have no time to think about it. Let me go fast.
But where
are you talking us?
taking us. Yeah.
Wherever the road takes us, we'll go. Don't disturb me now.
It is not waste of time traveling so fast, spoiling the nice car.
Then what do you think we should do now?
Stop the car.
Yeah. Buddhimal stops it, they all get down. So Lopimal starts doing his operation. He starts cleaning and washing the car with water, wiping with a dry cloth. He also puts garlands and chandan paste. He's doing worship of the car. Yeah. And in the meantime, Buddhimal is getting restless. Go ahead.
Hey, Lobina, what are you doing? What is the goal of your life?
We just want to decorate the car and attend to the need of the car. That's all. You should not spoil by driving. It's our duty not to take good care of the car. What else do you think one should do?
Just take the car and drive as fast as I can anywhere. I don't care where I'm going. I just like driving the car fast. That's all.
See, my friends, Lohimal and Bhutimal, the purpose of a car is not to just keep it one place and keep decorating it and maintaining it without using it. It is under use of the car. Similarly, the car should be used to take us to the desired destination, not just drive it here and there, fastly, rashly, aimlessly. That is overuse of the car. Don't underuse, overuse, or abuse the car. Even right use of the car is not enough. We have to use the car for the company's work, because awarded the car. Similarly, we have to utilize our human body, which is like a car, for advancing in spiritual life.
So what should we do?
First, know the purpose of your travel, where do you want to go. And while driving, whatever maintenance the car needs, like petrol, water, air, cleaning, etc., you do in order to help the car keep you to the desired destination. Similarly, the human body is like a car, but we are not the body. We are spirit souls sitting inside the body, exactly like the driver sitting inside the car. Srila Prabhupada gives an example in one of his purposes, a businessman riding in a motor car sits in the car, supervising is running and advises the driver. He knows how much gasoline is used up and he knows everything about the car. But still, he is apart from the car and is more concerned with his business. Even while riding in the car, he thinks of his business and his office. He has no connection with the car, although he is sitting there. As the businessman is always absorbed in thoughts of his business, so the living entity can be absorbed in thoughts of rendering loving service to the Lord. Then it will be possible to remain separate from the activity of the material body. This position of neutrality can be possible only for a devotee. Here, Bhagavad Gita.
Say that this body made of flesh and bones is like a shirt on the soul.
Precisely. Just as you petrol the car, we put fuel in the mouth, then as car moves, our body also moves. Car has a horn, you have a mouth to produce sound. Car has four wheels, you have two hands and two legs. Car has two headlights to see the road, you have two eyes. But when the driver gets down from the car cannot move 1 inch also. Similarly, when the soul leaves the body, then we call it as dead. When the soul is sitting inside the body, we call it living. As in the case of car, our business is not car business. We are meant to use the car to go to another destination. Similarly, the purpose of the body is to help us go back to the kingdom of God. That is our destination. In the meantime, during this journey, whatever maintenance is required by the body in terms of food, water, air, cleaning, etc., we provide.
Just as I was initially decorating the car, forgetting the goal of goal. Similarly, people of this world spend all their time decorating this body. Is it not true?
Yes, Lobimal, I agree with you. Just see how many types of body soap are sold in the market. how many types of sport shoes, coats, pants, ties, etc. are sold for the body. Nobody knows about the soul. Also, I have been racing the car, wearing it out uselessly without attaining any goal. Similarly, people are overworking the body to accumulate more and more money and possessions without learning how to prepare themselves for returning back to the kingdom of God.
Both have become very intelligent. Although you are not the body, but soul, still whatever is minimum needed by the body should be supplied to maintain it nicely. We should eat moderately, sleep sufficiently, exercise regularly, eat healthy. And the purpose of all of these is to use the body knowing God, and relationship with Him, and return back to God when we use the body.
Yep, thank you. Now a small exercise here. So we understand, body is like a car. We should use it for the right purpose. Should not overuse, underuse, or abuse. Not just rightly use, we should use for spiritual use. So we'll see an example of each. Okay, what is the case of underuse? Yeah, just eating, sleeping, reproducing, protecting family members, and building house. This even animals do, even birds build their nest. What's so big deal about building a home? And they also eat, sleep, produce, reproduce and protect family members. This is all done by animals. So it's underuse. What is overuse? Yeah, working 16 hours a day in 3 shifts with ambition to become a billionaire. Yeah, this is not the good use of human body. What is abuse? B? E? Okay, yeah. Drink liquor, smoke cigar, become drug addict, commit suicide. Yeah, this is abuse. What is the right use? Yeah. To avoid tobacco, liquor, eat only vegetarian food, be pious and religious. But the thing is, it's not the best use yet, because even, even a cow is also vegetarian. Doesn't mean it is using it for the right purpose. Spiritual use, right? This is the one. To use our body in Lord Krishna's service, who gave us this human body in gratitude, right? So that's the right use. Any questions?
So the people are like, they do right use, right?
Mhm.
They do the right use. So, they're not doing anything wrong, but they just don't know who Krishna is yet. So how do, like, it's, the question is, like, they will come to Krishna consciousness, but when or how?
Yeah, that's why yeah, everybody gets a chance at some point. Some people utilize and some don't. That's the only difference. Those who utilize are fortunate, right? Because the need of soul doesn't change. That is just craving for love and service, right? And that love cannot be satisfied anything other than absolute truth. That is also clear. The craving of the soul can only be satisfied in God. And that is only possible in a spiritual practice like devotion service we do. So it's just a matter of time. They'll find out, yeah, it will happen. But, everybody gets a chance in human form of life, especially if somebody is born in a place like India. Spirituality is prevalent everywhere. A little inquisitiveness brings them to the right place. Yeah, so now here are the levels of consciousness. So in Vedic scriptures, 5 types of consciousness are described. The first is called Avritta Chitta. Avritta Chitta. Avritta Chitta means covered consciousness. This is had by the plants and trees. They are also living entities, but they are fully covered. Their consciousness is fully covered. Next is Sankuchit Sankuchit consciousness or Sankuchit Chitta. So this is by, very lower animals like, small worms and insects. They have very lowly developed consciousness. And then budding consciousness or Mukulita Chitta. Right? So that is a little bit better than that. That's like animals, like cows, they have Mukulita Chitta. And then blooming or Vikasita Chitta. Vikasita Chitta is for human beings. Their consciousness is fully evolved. Right? But then when it is fully developed within that, within that blooming Chitta or Vikasita Chitta, so that's called Purna Vikasita or complete, so that is fully spiritually realized consciousness. So that is the highest. Right? Human beings have this budding consciousness. A bud appears shrunken, but it has the potential to bloom into a flower. So human consciousness has similar potential. It appears shrunken like animals, but humans have the innate ability to develop their consciousness to a point of knowing the absolute truth, can blossom fully. And it is also described there are 8.54 million types of body exists with various levels of consciousness. And out of this, 8 million are lower species, in these 4 other consciousness, like the Avrita Chitta, Mukulita Chitta, Sankuchit Chitta. Human beings are the 400,000 remaining. And so, but from there you can develop to the highest Purna Vikasita consciousness. So when, yeah, demigods come under, yes, yeah. All human beings, yeah, they all come under that. Any other questions? Huh? Fully liberated soul, yes. Fully blossomed means, or Sampurna, Purna Vikashita consciousness means they are liberated souls. Who is a liberated soul? We are called conditioned soul. Conditioned means conditions apply. For me to be happy, I need so many conditions to be met. For example, I need, my hunger is satisfied, my thirst is satisfied, my mind is peaceful. And so many conditions are required for a jiva to be happy in the middle world. But when none of those conditions are met, still I'm happy, that's a liberated soul. Liberated soul means unconditionally is happy. It doesn't need any conditions to be met. Right? So we can get to that consciousness. Right now, our consciousness is diverse in, so many places. But when it is fully focused on absolute truth, then in that consciousness connection, yoga, you will not feel any pain that is coming from any other direction. So by practice of Krishna consciousness, we are actually trying to establish that connection with Krishna that is lost, right? So when we reconnect ourselves fully, right? When we are always Krishna conscious, right? When we are always God conscious, naturally you have that, it's like somebody who you have always in your association, right? So in that consciousness, you will not depend on any other external factors to be happy. So that is liberation in bhakti process. Right? Then now some exercise here. Why are we discussing about the 5 types of consciousness? The A, to learn about the nature of different living entities that we see in nature. No. to understand the glory of human as the crown among all species of life on earth. See, if he neglects that opportunity, he may again undergo transmigration through the covered, shrunken, and budding stages. Yeah, yes. As humans, we are given the opportunity to understand soul, God, and our loving relationship with Him. Yes. BCD, right? So, yeah, A is also correct. Yeah. Yeah, it gives understanding of everything. Everything is an answer. More concretely, these two, but this is also covered. These two also. Yeah. So, a judge, for example, judge is paid heavy amount. You know, in India, if you are my uncle is a high court judge, for example. He goes for office only for 4 hours. From morning 10 to 2. Only 4 hours. He clears many cases. He's very smart also. He clears. That's it. He has an assistant to drive him. He has a bungalow, judge bungalow. We go there, sometimes. A nice bungalow. Only for the time he has the job. Now he's retired. All privileges are there. But a regular office clerk, he works for 10 hours. Very lot of work, sometimes boss will be angry at him if he doesn't deliver. He works a lot more harder, but he gets much less pay. But a high court judge gets a far better pay and far more privileges because he's delivering duties at a higher level, correct? So similarly, if you look at animals, the basic needs of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, they are met at a very basic level. For example, when you throw food in India, for the dogs, they fight with each other, right? For food, they scratch from each other and take away. Even you see Discovery Channel, even tigers also do the same, even though they are the strongest animals. For them to get food is not easy. The tiger has to really struggle hard and catch a deer, and then its food is met. For us, you can imagine how easy our life is compared to animals. They don't have good shelter. They don't, their food needs are met. Though they are met, it's in a very tough conditions. We're all privileged human beings. We have nice homes. Parents to take care, educate us, and then our meal is served. Nobody is going to take away your plate, right? So there is security and all of that. So we are given these privileges in the human body. So we have higher duties to perform. Just like a judge is paid better for performing higher duties, right? So what are those heavy responsibilities? We'll read here. Before that, there is a beautiful verse in Bhagavatam. So this says, Guru nasasya swajano nasasya pita nasasya janani nasasya daivam natasya napatis nasasya namo chayedya samupeta mrityam. So one who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a relative, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipful demigod. What does it mean for us? Many people in India or anywhere think that, oh, I educated my child, I married my daughter, and my responsibility is over. Isn't it? That's what they think. But actually, that is only material duty. We all, as caretakers of our families, we also have the duty towards their spiritual well-being. Our family members' spiritual well-being. As a father or as a mother or as a grandfather or whatever, or as a teacher, we all have the responsibility to actually spiritually uplift our dependents, right? Because we have the human body. So here are the responsibilities, right? Can you all read? Rahul, you can read one line.
Firstly, to rise above animal life of sense gratification and lead a human life of sense control. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meeting.
Yeah.
Rise above as a human life to divine life and quality behavior by divine Ashtavis to Krishna, the understanding Hare Krishna, worshipping Krishna, getting Gita and other messages.
This is don'ts and this is do's, right? The don'ts are give up bad habits. And then that is neutral platform. That's not right, right? So actually we have to worship Krishna and practice, chanting every day. That is the positive things. Yeah, and then third thing.
Turn our attention from accumulating material possessions to increasing devotional credits. For example, Jesus said, do not accumulate wealth that will be stolen by thieves and eaten by moths.
Yeah, because anything earned in this world is to be left in this world itself. Next. Now, you can also help distribute spiritual books or, conducting sessions like this. Yeah, next. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Becoming Krishna conscious, right? So here, we all heard about Devas and Danavas, correct? Suras and Asuras. Who are Asuras and who are Suras? What do you understand? No, that is, but the behavior. Behavior-wise, what is the difference? Huh? What is the core reason? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Abuse of power, yes. Yeah. Envious of God. Yeah, okay. That is the main thing. Basically, they act independently. They don't want to accept the fact that God exists. Like Hiranyakashipu, they are the deniers of God and they want to have all power to themselves. They want to exert their power, right? Basic difference is that they don't have any faith. Sometimes even Suras, they are not fully Krishna conscious, like Indra, they also do some mistakes. Yeah, go ahead.
Believe in Lord Shiva. So
Yeah.
this is like he had faith.
He had faith. Yeah, but he was driven by what? Lust. So the motivation is also important. That's another important thing. What is the motivation? Why is he doing all of that? So that he can become most powerful, right? So that he can exert power on others and do for whatever he wants. Right? So that is the wrong motivation. Yeah. Devotees on the other side, they want to be, first is, they worship Vishnu, most devotees. Right? Secondly, they abide by the instructions. That is the main thing. Asuras do not want to follow any instructions. Period. That is one clear difference. Even among people, if you talk, I don't care for that, they'll say, right? Some people speak, that is actually that Asuric mentality in their heart. Even among people of us, you can see there are people who would like to follow their parents, and those are people who I don't care my parents, or I don't care for anybody. So that is actually Asuric mentality. You don't care. That is all actually coming from that. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, sometimes even when Asura war happens, right? Lord comes to, settle things down. he would tell the suras because asuras won't listen anyway. So sometimes he will, okay, you first stop, they will stop. Just like, if you have 10 children, everybody is children, asura or sura, everybody is children of God. But Lord himself tries to manage the whole scene with suras. Because they're at least, even though they have the fighting spirit, still they will listen to God. Yeah, so that's how it is. Even the whole Samudra Manthan war, this becomes very clear, yeah. Take the mic. Why that thing exists that way? Things exist that way. It is because each of the soul has their own independent free will, and they can exercise according to their own desire. And so naturally, there will be people who choose to be on the path and who don't, right? Just like when a city is constructed, they will construct a jail. Why? Invariably, there will be people who will violate the laws. There will be, every city has a jail everywhere. Why? Because there will be people who would violate the laws of city. They don't want to follow. When there is a free will, there is a chance to violate. There is a opportunity to violate, and there will be violators. So similarly, there will always be people of both mindsets. So that's why suras and asuras, the categories. Yeah. Any other questions?
But it could be any time. This souls go back to God.
Yeah, there will be potentially, yes. Yeah.
Always some sort.
There will be some new souls coming into exercising their free will in the wrong way. Yeah, it's a continuous game. Yeah, go ahead. Authority, they don't care about authority. Yeah. There are always people, right? Even in your office, they behave in a way that they don't care any authority. They don't want to. That is Asuric mentality. That is the main difference. Right? Suras can change their heart because they have the one thing they do is at least respect authority and ready to follow instructions. Even the demigods, they are not all the time doing the right things. Sometimes they'll go poke somebody else also. But they have, they at least separate themselves when, yeah. No, the souls are fixed. Because this is an eternal question. So from Brahma Jyoti, from there actually the jivas will fall down. So those, so from that stratum, living, entities will exercise their free will accordingly. Yeah. So it's an infinite, we cannot understand that, to fullest extent in our current state of consciousness. Yeah. So it's fixed at some level, but that is infinite. Yeah.
Can we say that everything is Krishna's Leela, right? So if you take Ravan or not sure the other one, but they are basically
Hiranyakashipu. Yeah, they're all incarnations.
So he went back to God, right?
Yeah, he went back to Godhead after 3 lifetimes, yes. First as Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, then Ravana, Kumbhakarna, then Kamsa and Shishupal, Shishupal and Dantavakra, and then as Jai Vijay. Jai Vijay in the Kali Yuga. I mean, that's a different story. Yeah, sorry. Jagai Mother.
Why can't we accept it as it is? Why do we have to?
Reason differently. Because not everybody would accept Lord first, right? But in one sense, that is about those people, chosen people, the Jai Vijaya category. But for most of us, we all have the free will and we can choose to be, behave, use our free will in the right way or wrong. So as a lesson for us, we have to take that as a lesson. Any other questions? I keep hearing you all have a lot of questions. Rahul, you want to ask anything else?
Open a list.
That's an eternal question. That's what I don't want to get into. There is two opinions, even among spiritualists, whether because Vaikunta there are people who say you cannot fall down from there. Because Vaikunta, you are in Vaikunta, why you would fall down? So Brahmajyoti is what accepted by every category of spiritual people. Yeah. They were in Vaikunta. They are a special case. So they're outliers. We only take 99 percentile. Out 1% are, those are outliers. They're there for a reason. When Lord wants to come and fight in the middle world, he wants to get somebody who is qualified for it. So cannot get any random conditioned soul for that. We'd rather choose Jai Vijay for that. Yeah. List.
How long does it take for a liberated soul to reach Krishna's abode?
Liberated soul.
So like someone passes away,
Uh-huh.
he's getting liberated. How long does it take to reach Krishna's abode? I'm asking this question from Mahabharata, the Pandavas first they go to hell.
Heaven? Oh, yeah.
Hell and they go
That's
to
all.
heaven.
Mhm.
Whereas Duryodhan, first he sees heaven for a while, but he goes to hell. So these guys are all liberated, right? So they had to go through all this. So I was curious.
I tell the stories of, at least there are two people. One is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, when he was about to leave the world, right? From Vaikunta, a plane came. It's given in Srimad Bhagavatam. He was airlifted directly from, so directly he went in the Vaikunta plane to Vaikunta in no time. It's a flash. And then recently, a similar pastime happened, only like 500 years back. Anybody knows? Tukaramji. Before everybody's eyes, Tukaramji, just singing Lord's glories, Lord Vittala's glories, and a Vaikunta plane came, and before everybody's eyes, he was airlifted. Yeah. So it doesn't take any time. Yeah. And we may not see the Vaikunta plane for everybody's case. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in the same way. So that is a special case so that everybody sees it. For example, many acharyas who left, they left in the similar consciousness. Right? We may not be seeing, we may not be eligible to see that time, but that happens. Yeah.
Why Pandavas didn't go there?
Hmm?
Why they have to go to they were
That
also
is specific case for them. Every case is different. And especially there are lessons for us in those specific incidents, why, the way they went through. Yeah. So especially with devotees, these are eternal devotees of Lord. Lord engages them so that through them, he teaches many lessons to the world. So what happens to them are all special cases. Like for example, Arjuna getting confused, in the battlefield when the whole lifetime he prepared for the battle, and in the battle he was totally confused. He says, I don't want to fight. That's a situation created for him by Lord himself, so that he can speak the knowledge to the world. So in that way we understand. Every case is different, how you go to Vaikuntha, how Rahul goes to Vaikuntha is all different. Everything is uniquely manifest. Yes. Yeah.
In the scripture, there's a mention that we go through this cycle of birth and death. There are multiple youths that keep happening. But what was the initial state? Is there any mention of what was the first state? Were everyone in Vaikuntha? What was the initial state before this cycle started?
That's the origin question. There are two opinions among spiritualists also, even among devotees. There is one class that says they all came from Vaikuntha, and that class says we are still in Vaikuntha right now. This whole journey of material existence is a dream in the spiritual realm. It's like a dream. So, for example, in the dreams, many times whatever you go through is a realistic experience in that dream itself. But when your consciousness is disturbed, you wake up, it's a different thing. But in the dream itself, it's a reality for you. So similarly, even while you exist in the material world, you are in the Vaikuntha, in the dream state right now. That is one understanding. Second understanding is you are in the Brahman effulgence. That's the origin. From there, the jivas fall down and they go through the cycle of evolution of consciousness. From, actually in the beginning, they get a very higher birth, like Brahma, like that. They become the, leader of a Brahmanda. And from there, they misuse and they go down to animals and then again come back, realize the mistake and then go back. So that's another. Again, you can go back to Brahmajyoti, or you practice bhakti and go back to Vaikuntha. So, two understandings. Yeah.
In our class,
Yes, yeah,
both.
both are mentioned. Yeah. Mhm. We are one factor of actions. Yeah.
Most of the activities that they're doing, direct causal and effect.
Effect, yeah.
Like raising our hands or something, then only the food will be ready. So we see cause and effect directly and we don't see towards sanction.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
That we are not the ones for the. We see the effects.
Mhm. Yeah. For example, so even within this material body is like a car, right? For example, you are desiring to lift hand. Suppose I instructed my hand to lift, right? This body is material nature. It's not me. I'm the soul. This whole body is a vehicle for me. I just desired and Krishna sanctioned and so it lifted. Just like in the car, you are not pushing the entire car. Car is like your body, you are the soul driving. You just push a small button and then car moves. The whole engine, chassis, everything comes together to move the vehicle, correct? So similarly, the whole mechanism behind it, is Paramatma within the heart is actually driving the material energy. This body is material energy. Paramatma within the heart is actually driving the body. You just desired. The soul has no capacity to lift, but Paramatma is enabling it to lift. For example, somebody has a stroke of paralysis in the left hand. Even if he desires, he cannot lift the hand. Why? Because Paramatma sanction is not there for him. But for you, it has the sanction, so you are able to lift. So that's how we understand. Clear? So whatever you may feel that you are doing it, but actually it is the material nature driven by the Paramatma. right? We are only the desirer. We are one factor in the whole equation. So the result is also dependent on not me. The result is actually dependent on Paramatma. You see? Because Paramatma sanction, then it gets happen. Right? Karmana daiva netrena. So all the karmas are actually watchfully seen by Daiva. So under his supervision, every action is happening in the middle existence.
Hello? So, everything you got analyzed, that was also into this past
Mhm.
right? On the healthy body, we are benefit from our past karma. So can we not consider that we were the world, we were the cause because we did actions, we got a healthy body or a bad body. And how we speak like that.
He is still he is the one of the primary cause. But he is the initiator. We can put it that way. He is the initiator. But the actual thing happens on the sanction. The result is dependent on the sanction of the Lord. He is the cause. He is the prime cause. But the result is actually dependent on Paramatma. Yeah. Is that clear? Make sense? Not clear? Okay. Maybe we should go again. Can you repeat? It's because of your own actions in the past. Yes. Yeah. What is it? Karma? I mean, you can say that. Yeah. But you are the prime cause for what happens. Whatever happens to you, I am the primary responsible. Whatever I'm going through today is the summum bonum of my actions in the past. So I am responsible. Yeah. So I am the prime cause for the state I am in. If somebody has a liver problem because of his drinking habit, he is the prime cause. Yeah.
According to the word, we have to be the facilitator.
Facilitator and sanctioner. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. He's the sanctioner. Otherwise, we can always absolve our responsibility to God. It's all, God's responsibility. Many people are like that, they give up their responsibility and leave it all to God. That's not right understanding. So it's called Daivavad. Daivavad means everything is because of God. My poverty, my richness, everything is because of God. So that is actually irresponsibility. We are a co-creator. We are part of the game. We are the primary, we have to take the responsibility. That's when you can correct yourself. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. God is Elohim. He is the sanctioner. Correct. Yes. He is Elohim. Yes. 100% he is Elohim. See, for example, you have a child. You don't want him to use blade to cut, but he just want to use it. You tell him 10 times, 20 times, he doesn't listen. What do? You give him a small blade. And you watch him on the side, and as soon as he cuts, you tell him, yeah, this is the last time you are going to cut, put a band-aid, right? So like that, the jiva has that free will, and he will sometimes exercise wrongly. And God has to allow him so that he learns the lesson, right? So that's how the game works. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very important point. So when you get the result is not in your hand. That's a very important point. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So that's why we should try to not do anything wrong, because you never know when the reactions come. Is that the point you are trying to say? Yeah, it's very important. Time is not in our hand. By the way, understand, time is the one thing driving everything. You know why in Vedic times the time is seen as the most important factor to start an action, initiate an action? Because the whole result of the action is primarily dependent on time. Time is a very critical factor. You want to have favorable time, at least for important tasks. The whole change in the universe is created by time. Time drives the whole change. Yeah. Time is not just a measure of change, it is the cause of change. Cause, it is the one thing that is driving the change in the world. That is what is aging your body. That is what is driving the whole thing. The whole show is time is an element, among the 5 elements of, like nature. Time is one critical element, time factor, eternal element. Yeah. In the spiritual world, it is inconspicuous. It doesn't exist. Time doesn't play any role. Only in the middle world. Yeah. The beginning of a thing exists because of time. Any other questions? In the spiritual world, okay, that's a whole lot of topic, because there are so many concepts to understand about spiritual world. Yeah, but maybe, I don't know exactly. I don't want to answer that fully. That specific thing I didn't hear. Huh? Yeah, we don't age at all in spiritual world. Yeah. Yes.
This is arranged by Yoga Maya.
Everything is arranged in spiritual world by Yoga Maya. Yeah.
Krishna desired it, and then Yoga Maya actually creates the daytime and the nighttime.
Yeah, maybe that is how we can understand. So there are things that are special to material world. For example, Janmashtami doesn't exist in spiritual world, only in middle world. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
You said there are like 2 approaches for the origin of the universe. So you said
Origin of
so
material existence of the soul.
what is your if you like control what you
I'm in the I'm in the group of Brahmajyoti.
yeah, because
Prabhupada stated both, and devotees have arguments. There is one scholar who firmly believes in the Brahmajyoti. I am on his side. Okay, thank you all very much. We'll end the session here. Hare Krishna.